Now, nobody knows exactly where it started. Some say Australia, some say in Ireland. What we know for sure, though, is that the viral drinking game Neknomination has become something of a global phenomenon. And here's how it works. Apparently, you film yourself downing an alcoholic drink. You nominate 2 of your colleagues to do the same. You upload the video, and the nominees then have 24 hours in which to do the same. As the popularity of the game grows, so do the extremes to which people have gone to outdo each other, leading, I understand, to 5 alleged deaths in the United Kingdom. That is disturbing. Let's find out more about this fad. Joining us are Natalie Poole, Head of Content at Native VML, along with Donovan White, Social Media Strategist. Welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. Let's say at the outset, this is water in all of these glasses. Let's be very clear about that. What is the attraction, and how has it suddenly gone viral?
So the reason why it's gone viral in South Africa is really because of this whole notion of meme. And what a meme is that it's passed on from friend to friend to friend. It's an idea, it's a behavior. And when you're seeing your friends doing it instead of brands doing it, you're more likely to actually jump onto that bandwagon. Facebook has actually done an entire study on how memes evolve within a country. And it takes into account certain things such as how it's propagated. So I nominate you. When you're nominated, you have to fulfill these certain criteria. But they also take into account certain things like popularity. So popularity is also measured on what they call the Gini index. And the Gini index is a disparity in economic distribution. So basically, South Africa was sitting on a 63% on the Gini index, which means there's 63% for this thing to actually evolve in South Africa. And that's how we got the whole RAC nomination that has come out today.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this RAC nomination. I understand that this is an opportunity for organizations to trade on a concept, but to do something that doesn't necessarily, Natalie, involve content in a glass or a bottle.
Thank goodness for that. Yes, it was actually started by a South African guy named brainchild. And he got nominated by someone in Australia and decided, you know, it's really easy to down a beer, but let me rather do something for good. So he started RAC nominations, random acts of kindness.
Sandwich for you, buddy. Thank you. Hold on. Chocolate and a Coke. Cheers, buddy. Thank you. I nominate Darren Smithson and Tristan Banner. You have 24 hours.
You'll be okay.
And suddenly brands sort of jumped on the bandwagon and started nominating each other to do, you know, cool stuff for charities. Trick is obviously that there's a deadline. You nominate it and you have 24 hours. Some people are extending it to a week to do it. So practically speaking, that's not a long time for you and your company to get a budget together to plan things. I think there's a very fine line between just jumping on it and you know, doing it for the sake of it, or doing it because it is in line with your content strategy and it's something that you would probably do anyway.
Let's look at that pull-through then, Donovan, if we can. It's riding on a viral tsunami right now. There's no question about that, whether it's Neknomination or RAC nomination in this country. At what point does something like this lose favour, fade, and something else takes its place?
Okay, so
how do you read that?
What we've actually done right now is we've taken Brent Lindeke's entire journey and we've mapped it out. And when he actually changed it into a RAC nomination, he was very smart in understanding that social media works really well with broadcast. So in terms of his nomination, he nominated Wackett Simpson. And from that, going on to the radio, that's where the whole viral element landed up. Because once it's hit radio, it's then hit Twitter. So that viralness goes up, 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 and up. And when the brands start jumping on it, we've actually seen that he's started to level out in terms of this virality. And
that's my question. How do we know when it starts to level out? Is there a defining point, or is it something like a river, it just runs into...
I think everything's about change, and this whole millennial generation that is categorizing the entire social media landscape is all about change. So they also want authenticity. So if a brand is not jumping onto that bandwagon with authenticity, that's when the trend is going to start running out.
Okay, fascinating insight, guys. Thanks very much for coming in. Natalie Poole and Donovan White, really appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks indeed.
Thank you very much.
Now, the VWV agency is starting an initiative to help young female advertising students. Phakama Women's Academy, kicking off in the next few months. It's also the brainchild of the Chief Executive, Koo Govender. The word Phakama means to uplift, which is exactly what she is hoping the Academy is going to do. She speaks to correspondent Yashini Padayachee.
Empowering young women is Koo Govender's passion. She started a leadership academy and she's brought it home to VWV. Now this is the building where the classes will actually take place and it will all be free of charge.
I believe being successful is one aspect, but being significant and leaving a legacy is another aspect in a person's life. And I truly believe that we all have a purpose. And I believe that my purpose is to empower women. That's the philosophy or history of where I come from in terms of women empowerment. And being the CEO of VWV, I strongly believe that I could help other women reach senior positions as well.
It's this philosophy that's formed a vision for the program.
The program is a young leadership program, a young women's leadership program. And the program is targeted to final year or third year women in marketing and communications. So what we're doing, we have 4 universities that are participating in this initiative, which is Vega, AAA, UJ, and a university in Johannesburg called Maharishi.
Koo has been in the corporate world for over 2 decades. It's this experience that she wants to use to help young women. She's hoping to launch later this year.
Personally, I think it will benefit VWV, but I'm looking at it from a legacy point of view, about VWV leaving a legacy in terms of empowering young women in this industry.
Koo is investing in the future of young women and hopes the initiative will grow and equip the students with the skills needed to conquer the workplace. Yashini Padayachee for Mags on Media.
And coming up on the programme, insights into why pharmaceutical advertising is such a big business, and we'll go behind the scenes of the Bell's Whiskey Reader commercial that tugs hard on the heartstrings.
News that moves. ENCA.com.